You know, we worked on a dry work and got a little bit of control of a horse. If this was a real working cow horse, a horse in training, we'd probably have several weeks before we get it down a little bit better, much softer, less resistance in the horse's face, which means to the bit. But we intentionally using a horse that's not used to that kind of maneuver, so that I did to show you that every horse can learn it. The next part here is to introduce it to the flag, or I call the electronic cow. Some people call it the mechanical cow, but it's flag work. And the idea of the flag work is not only teaching the horse position, but the owner position. You know, it's just not running your horse down, you know, chasing a cow back and then running down, chasing it back. There's a lot more finesse to it. All you big pros that actually do quite well in the industry and win and well known in the industry, they literally spend hours and doing just the fundamentals of the flag to position the horse. It saves on their cows, you know, because you have to trade out cows, you lose the freshness. But position is everything, tracking is everything, and rating. And you're going to hear a little bit more about rating. But first thing we have to do, just because if this flag, if my camera can look at it, is going to be moving around. I have a controller here that I can stop and go whenever I like. There's also 5 programs that I can program 5 of them. This is the neat thing about it. When we do these clinics, everyone thinks they have good control of the shoulders, and I turn this thing on and they realize they have no control of the shoulders. And if you don't have shoulder controllers and you can't do this, you're not going to be able to do cows. So the first thing we're going to do is introduce her to it, make sure she's comfortable with it. And the other thing is then we're going to start tracking it and start working on our position. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn in front of my cameraman, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the flag, move the flag. All right, if you notice, my horse's ears went up, and then I'm moving it again, and then I'm going to stop. All right, and let her digest that a little bit. Okay, slow is fast. Okay, and then I'm going to take it the other way. This is on a very slow speed for now, and then I'm going to stop and pause. All right. Now, I've had horses in a big indoor arena where I've had to start this thing literally. This is about, our indoor arena is a little bit longer than this, and it's about 200 feet where we've started at the other end of the arena to get them accustomed to it. So, and then I'm going to ask it to move to the right. Now I'm going to ask it to pick up a little speed. Now I did that with my remote control. You notice that my horse's eyes is paying attention to it, okay? Now, I'm going to start asking my horse to start following it, okay? From far away. Keep the eyes on it. And then let her track left. And halt. Now, it's important to have a good stop on your horse, and we didn't hit a lot on that, but you need a pretty good stop. And that horse needs to be stopping off your seat, and also need to be stopping with your voice command. Now what we're going to do is, not only we're going to track this, but the whole idea is get this horse to start stopping on its own when the flag stops. Okay, that's our next step. Now she's pretty comfortable with it, so I'm going to ask the flag to go right. I'm going to ask my horse to stay with it. You notice that the front end moved around. And then when the flag stops, I'm going to ask the horse to stop. Oh. All right. Now, I'm going to ask the flag to go left. Now, I'm going to ask my horse to follow the flag. And here again, I'm going to, when the flag stops, I'm going to ask my horse to stop. Okay? the horse is going to learn this about association. You know, I don't think I ever had a horse learning to do it in the first day, maybe the second day. Sometimes I've had him start thinking about it on the second day. It usually takes 4 or 5 days for them to really start getting it, unless they've worked a flag before, you know, and they're just green at it. So, and the important thing is I want to be able to stop square here too as well. All right, and I'm going to want a nice draw. In other words, the shoulder moves over here to the right. All right, so I'm going to ask my horse to, I'm going to ask the cow, the flag, to turn right, and then I'm going to ask my horse to follow it. Whoa. Okay, pause. I'm not as straight as I like. Now I'm straight. I was a little oblique. Okay, so position is everything. Now here again, like I said earlier, I may be starting further away on this. And I don't want to be any closer. More closer to the flag that I am, quicker controls that I have to have. So I'm going to ask for a little bit of trot. Flag stops. And I stopped the horse. I waited on the horse, gave the horse an opportunity to stop. I stopped the flag. And if you notice, I didn't say whoa anything. And I waited for the horse. Now eventually I'm going to quit saying whoa. I'm going to use my seat. But I'm going to want to start relying on me saying whoa. The flag is going to say whoa. Okay? And here again, I'm going to trust my horse. My flag's going to turn right, and I'm trusting my horse to go with it. All right? And it kind of thought about it there a little bit, and then trot up. Hey. All right, I'm going to wait on I'm going to turn the cow back down the fence, wait on my horse, see if it goes with it. He's thinking about it, and I follow through. Trot. Stop the cow. Hey. Stop the horse. This is real consistent work. This is boring work, and you're not going to want to do this. Cow work is very boring. It's just repetitiveness. And the problem is if you go too fast on it, all you end up doing is getting your horse jacked up and he doesn't learn anything. He starts getting out of body. This is not to take the place of live cows. This is to teach you body position, your horse's body position. Okay, getting used to stop when the movement is. Okay, and not rush it. Pretty soon, some of these horses so cowy, they start chasing anything. Okay, we don't know if this one is or not. We don't know. Maybe in 4 or 5 days we'll find out. Just because it's bred to be a cow horse doesn't mean the cow comes out of it in a short period of time. Now the horse is moving into my cow, so I'm going to move it back out using my cow leg. All right. Turn my cow to the right. Trust my horse to see if it goes with it. It didn't, so I'm going to bring it around. Going to catch up with it. The flag stopped, and I stop. All right. Flag starts. I start. Flag stops. I stop. And back up. Now we can start throwing a back up in there. You know, when I'm teaching a horse to stop, if they don't stop off of my seat of voice command, I back them up. That's the correction. If you notice, I'm keeping the same distance. You can look at my tracks here. Now, here's a tip. If I got a kind of a bronky cow, Hey. This is the correction because it didn't stop to the flag, the backup now. So we add another element to it. If you have a bronchi cow that's kind of rank and kind of hot, you may be working at this distance. Okay? If you have one that's kind of slow-minded and quiet, you may be a lot closer to motivate that cow. Now, this might be a good... This horse is looking at the gate and they're going, I want to go to the barn. Okay, so this is actually a good exercise for this horse at the same time. When I tell my horses to stop, they stop. And they need to learn to stand there and be quiet. It took a step forward, so I'm going to ask it to be quiet again. And I'm going to reinforce it by backing it up. Motivate it. Horses have to be motivated. You have to find something to motivate to make the change in them. The bit's not going to do it. It's what we do with the bit. It's what we do with the aids. Now my horse is moving into my cow, so I'm going to ask my horse to move off, away from the cow. Pause. All right, I'm going to turn the cow. Trust my horse to follow it. It's starting to move. So that's a good sign. Means it's thinking about something. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's got it, but at least its brain is engaged. Stop the cow. Ah, very good. My horse actually stopped when the cow stopped. All right. Turn the cow. Trusting my horse to follow it. It's not going to follow it. So I move the horse off. Stop the cow. Good. Now crept forward. There was a little tiny step forward. What does consistency mean? Consistency means every time that horse steps forward, you back it up. It could do it by, and it could be just that the horse would reposition his body weight. Doesn't make any difference. Like there, back it up. Leave it alone. When you say stop, you mean stop. Now, when you have a real cow in here, I've heard it, I tell people keep the horse's shoulder on the hip of the cow. Some people say keep the shoulder, the horse's head on the shoulder. Well, to me, it means the same. If I'm keeping the horse's shoulder on the hip of the cow, his head's going to be on the horse's shoulder. The idea is you want to keep the biggest part of the horse's body behind the cow to keep it forward. Okay. If you get in front of the cow, okay, like right here, that cow is either going to stop or change directions and go the other way. And if you're trying to move that cow down the fence, that's why you need to be behind the cow, but position. And if you get too far behind the cow, if you get, say, 10 feet behind the cow, you could lose that cow. Especially one that's a little bronchi, so you need to be right on it. The only time that changes is when we do the corner work. When cow stops. My horse didn't stop, so I backed it up. Now, the corner work, after you box the cow, all right, we've gone back several times to show the judge that you have control of the cow, and we get ready to go down the fence. It's strategy, all right, because that cow is going to get there quicker. There, see, I got that cow too far ahead of me there, see? You notice that the cow already turned, and it's too far ahead of me. Okay? All right. So I'm going to be right there on the cow, and this is where rating comes in. I'm going to be right behind this cow. All right, right there is an important spot right here. I should be right about here when that cow starts coming out of the corner. Because if I was back here where I was, and that cow starts turning, more of my position, I'm in front of the cow. Remember, we talked about that down here. Okay? So my position should rate my horse. So my position is here. So when the cow makes that turn, then I can stay right with, and then rate. See, I asked for a half halt. I was taking the cow down the fence, and the horse wanted to run through my bit. You know, I checked it a little bit with my reins, half halted it, ignored it, because I got a gate as a magnet. Okay, and I pulled that horse down right into the ground and said, no, 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 no. Okay, and then take it down, do it again. Cow stops. I stop. Didn't stop for the cow, so I back it up. All right, so do it again. Not listening to my leg, so I bumped with the calf of my leg. Hey. And my horse stopped. Now you get to see the time invested in the dry work, which I consider a real investment. And you can't do enough of it. You know, make sure that when you back up, you know, and back up and get that horse to step over, follow that cow, get them drawn throughs. That's not a pretty draw through, see? So I'm going to back up this horse, get it off my hands. The reason it wasn't a pretty draw on that back up because it was pushing on the bit because it wants to go home. The gate's there. And a lot of people, you know, want to change the dynamics of the situation so you have to deal with it. No, that's a beautiful opportunity to train your horse to make it even a better horse. To be able to deal with that kind of distraction. We do this all the time. In a horse training, we start in the arena or the round pen, then we go to the arena, and then they got to be able to do the same thing up here in this arena, the big arena. They got to be able to do the same thing on the trail. They got to be able to stop, move shoulders over on the trail. They got to be able to do haunches in or double track coming down the trail. Use the distractions to your advantage. You'll get a better broke horse.